October 10, 2022. Marcus Giovanni here. About RG Maintenance, Arvada Company, Live Oak Bank, Colorado News. You know, folks, when you think about the um, the ways and means to which people, entities, media, for the last 10 years have manipulated Denver's elections, uh, democracy, everything that they claim to fight for you, they've taken it slowly away from you. And the same people that vote for it over and over again, to where people just don't care anymore. And so you don't pay attention, you don't watch the news, and you go outside and you see things, so you stay in your house and you conform to the ways of means of being locked down in your house. This is what they want. That's how they're going to fight crime. Nobody's allowed outside. We just can't fight crime. There's no more guns, so it's martial law. This is how it all starts, folks. And it starts too by candidates like Andre, who is 33 years old, came to Colorado in 2011, so he doesn't even know what went on before 2015, 2007. He doesn't know a fucking thing. You heard me, Andy? What kind of intel officer is that? And you want to know the biggest surprise here, folks? You look at the information that's on here. If you ask me what this meant, so when you look at the listings here and you kind of wonder what this means. Why is this here? Where's Andy's stuff? Where's the live oak and all the great things they claim to do here in Colorado? Why is all this here? I'm not going to tell you, because you need to find out yourselves. Ask your IT people. They know everything. They're the ones that's steering you all into the train station with a no one-way ticket to nowhere. And so when you understand what inequity, equity, if you had inequity in your house, that means that you're paying rent, you're paying mortgage that's going to go to someone else, because they don't want to work hard like you to pay a mortgage, so they want the easy way out. And so what politicians have figured out of doing here in Denver, doesn't matter anywhere else, folks, because see, what the number one thing I have on my side when it comes to digital technology and artificial intelligence is law. And what most of these IT people claim they know everything and everybody's bad except them and blah, de blah, blah. I can tell you this, folks. I could go in into Denver Technology Services and fire the top 3 administrators, use their assistants, put them in charge because they do all the work, while these people all go to the parties and sniff each other's butts and you know, you've seen it. You've seen it. They all party and say, oh, we done this and we did this and we did this with the federal and we did this with the federal and we did this with the federal. And it's, well, where's the city and county of Denver? Why is our streets looking like this? Why are you piecemealing our sidewalk repair? See, nothing, it's all smoke and mirror, folks. And artificial intelligence knows more than all of us put together. That's the beautiful thing. And so when you have these identifiers that have been identified, indexed, observed, Dewey decibeled, because when they say we live in a small world, Denver's even fucking smaller. And when you got clowns like Andy, who's going to come in and, you know, buy a business, take the sweat, here's the inequity part. Well, I just got out of the army and I'm gonna go get a loan and buy a company. I'm gonna take the sweat off their backs and put it on my back and pretend like I'm this guy. I've never been in maintenance before because I was an intel guy in the army, which failed him tremendously. Because what this artificial intelligence isn't military artificial intelligence. It's completely different platforms, different conversations. So for me, I couldn't go in and talk about the Army because I don't have any authority in that. None, period. So I don't. My son's in the Army. He's going through Special Forces training. He's going to be a badass soldier. And he knows what equity means. It means build it. Build it yourself. Put that sweat in. Pay those mortgage payments. So what Andy does is, and this is what you see. This is it. I won't tell you what this means here. It is not good. I can tell you that much. What news? See what I'm saying? So, in my analysis, I believe Live Oak Bank is a predator. And what they're doing is they're setting Andy up. And they all started this long ago. And this is how I know, and I can prove it in court just by this search alone. Because Arvada is where Andy's business is. So when they talk about he's a self-starter, he worked out of a library. Ooh, did you really, Andy? A library? Wow. I worked out of my house. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to look up any books. That's the difference between me and Andy. I never had to go buy a business from somebody. I created everything myself. Andy's never created a damn thing, and it's obvious. 100%. With all the media and all, like, where's their stories? Where's the story Andy raised 250,000? It's gone, folks, because he's financing my shit. All the candidates are. And when January comes, these guys are gonna see what's gonna happen. You want to know? They're gonna wake up, and it's all gonna be the same for all their note connections. Because what we want them to do is start talking, start texting, start bloviating, start humble bragging, start cutting down, throwing mud, do whatever it is they got to do. I'm telling you this, you start doing that shit with me, you better be prepared to battle in person, out of person, digital world, mortal world. I don't give up. You heard me, Andy? But you ain't going to come in here and do some wooty-woo because you're some smooth talking. You're as smooth as your bald head, brother. You heard me? So you being a military man don't make no fucking difference to me, bro. I look at face value. You're not a military man. You're a mortal man that uses the military, which is what you do. This is what disenfranchises Americans joining you when they're little kids and they hear their parents talk about who didn't go to army. And you make citizens feel like they're pieces of shit because they don't join the army. You watch it on Fox News. Everything's, which to me, I love military. My dad was in the military. My dad was a Republican, adopted 7 children, and yet all Republicans are bad. I will say that a lot of the majority of the Republicans, like the new Speaker of the House they're going to make, McCarthy, he's worthless, folks. I mean, Republicans have nothing to offer anybody. That's why they lost in Colorado. And when they started bagging on that new senator who had a stroke, I'm not going to, Fetterman, I think his name is, when they started bagging on him because he had a stroke, you know, they didn't bag, the Democrats didn't go after Scalia or any of those other ones, told them, hey, you got to get out of, no, man. This is why the Democrats don't like the Republicans, because Republicans, they show their hand and it exposes their real hand that's in their sleeves. And, you know, who's sneakier? I'd rather, at least the Democrats will tell you what they're doing. They'll tell you before they come. And they're they don't throw each other under the fucking bus. They started to now because their constituents are starting to say, look, man, this shit's getting out of control. You know, all you guys do is beat up on the Republicans. Can't you guys develop anything? And then the Republican people are telling the... And Donald Trump thinks he's going to be fucking president? No, you know who's going to be president? He just got elected governor of Colorado. And the governor and the state of Colorado, the conversation right now, the citizens of Colorado, of Florida, will give the okay for him to run for president because they know. One thing about Florida is they're not selfish. I live there. My daughter was born in Miami. I spent time there, a long, long time, in and out. I used to be a Magic Mike dude, okay? I danced on cruise ships. I was an exotic dancer. I was an entertainer. I've never done porn. I could have. I had the body for it. I was offered, of all things, of all things, of all things, was porn. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing no porn. I'll do dancing and stuff, but I ain't doing no porn, man. There ain't no way anybody can see me naked like that. No fucking way. I'll show you my ass. I show everybody my ass, man, because they want to see it. That's how it was back in the day. I'm 62, so don't expect much of an ass. Um, but when you think about the way people are trying to take over conversations, I've been writing about conversations, blockchain technology for a very, very long time, Andy. Way longer than you've been in the army. I was doing this when you were fucking born, dude. Okay? So, or when you were 3 years old, because I started in 1993. In 96, I really became uh, Googleized. And so when guys like this come out and say, he came out, Andy came out and said, yeah, I can't believe it. I'm the only guy, I'm the first guy that wants to end the camping ban. That's just mind blowing. Dude, what's mind blowing is that you weren't smart enough to realize that Marcus Giovanni has already said it. I don't want to say, yeah, that Marcus dude's cool, man. Yeah, that Marcus guy. I'm not talking third person, but I could. But like with Andy, he hasn't thought this through. And one of the red flags when we do our analytics that I could show a judge is that when Andy sat there in the library contemplating buying his business, he didn't, he was in the library trying to figure out a way to buy a business. He wasn't in the building on maintenance stuff, working from home, trying to find a business. So he didn't have a job, evidently. So he got to go to the library and kick around and use the computers and do whatever it is he did, which is in the cloud. Especially government libraries. Those are they're the most open source computers in the world, man. You want to go there and trade things. Those are ones that everybody's watching. That's the ones that Homeland Security keeps a double tab on. Same with educational academia, all their computers. So we're not gonna wait for another Ted Lisinski, okay? And so for me, I always side for my government. I don't care what our government turns. We'll be socialist. It'll kill me, but that's what we are then. I'll just shut the fuck up. I'll do my thing, do my time, wait to go graduate to my next life because whether I'm alive or dead, I win. I'm actually worth more when I die. Everybody is. You just don't know it. That's how you know there's a God. God gave us free will to do whatever the fuck we want to do. Just like with Andy, being able to go and buy the sweat company that someone built. He gets to step in. He's the owner. Oh, how long's your company been around? Oh, 1999. He don't tell him I bought it. I never done it before. But see, we don't need to do that because artificial intelligence already knows his whole life fucking story. So when he was born, I was already 30 years old, man. You see what I'm saying? You can't just race a 30-year-old can't just come and erase 30 years of another man because he wasn't in the military. Fuck that. Fuck you, Andy. You heard me? And so what we're doing now is, and Andy, and I'm really sorry to do this to you, bro, but you really are not telling. You're very bullshit. When you came out and you mentioned 60 years, I am the only candidate that mentioned these 60 years of democratic rule. Look at all my content. And so what you did is your people came out, you, Tim O'Toole, Pool Agency, some of your media clicks, friends, Dan Caplis, that worthless piece of shit attorney, what else? The KHOW Radio and all that, administrators. Oh, man. See, you guys have no fucking clue what artificial intelligence is going to wrap you. They're going to wrap you, send you off to the dark web, and replace you with somebody that's telling the truth, that can actually do what they tell you. Not bullshit. Okay? So What Andy did is got a loan, took $250,000, and he's going to buy himself an election. And what he doesn't understand is that Marcus Giovanni, for a living, is a SEO, you name it. I do it all. I'm a master. I master every fucking thing I do, folks. So what are you going to tell everybody? He doesn't even have a high school diploma. Yeah, I was expelled. The spick was expelled because he beat up a bully of a school that had 4,000 students, and the teachers were all afraid he was going to come back and kill them all. Oh yeah, you think that this shooting thing you're seeing now? I feel like I'm back in 1979. Look up Tony Berry, Maryville. He got shot in the head at a party in front of everybody. Drive-by shooting. Drive-by shooting, man. And you know, the park shootings getting initiated into the gangs. They don't want to fix this, folks, and they got enough security to protect them. And so, you know, back in the 80s, they were killing cops too back then. And so politicians saw a way to capitalize on the death of police and turn it around as if, you know, they have to raise their hands and say, hands up, don't shoot. That's what they want the police to do now to the criminals. Hands up, don't shoot. So when Andy comes out and says he's the only law-abiding, he's the only candidate law-abiding bullshit. Andy, shut your fucking mouth, boys. Boy, you heard me? See, the reason why I'm like this with you, Andy, because I know you're bullshit. I watched your whole campaign fucking go down the drain. And the more money you try to raise, guess what it does, Andy? And this is the thing you can't change, Andy. None of you guys can. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. Because you all deserve to go where you're going to go. And when you think that I don't have any authority or any power because media don't talk to me, fuck the media. CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox 31, those administrators here in Denver, they're doo-doo now. They don't have no idea, but they're going to see. January 1, everybody had to come out of the closet. When New York City voted for the people that told them, and the rest of the world, that all the crime's in our head. Don't believe what you see, believe what they tell you. And New York City went that way anyways, and they could have changed it all. So do you know who the new number one state is now, folks? I did the algorithm. It's not Colorado. They're actually going to be the worst state in the whole entire union. There ain't nothing they can do. They can't hire a fucking kangaroo that's a lesbian or a fucking giraffe that's a homosexual or fucking alligator that's eats humans. I don't know. Whatever the next fucking crutch is to jump on board to say we need to elect this person, not based on merits, ability, but based on who they're fucking, what they look like, and what they can't do. Can he run the government? No. Fucking elect him, man. We need a guy that can't run the election, the government, because that's the way it is now. Think about it, folks. You drive down and you look at our parks, they're all gated off downtown. Who wants to go? Who's going to go downtown after 200 bullets were sprayed a few years back? They're just waiting, man. They're waiting for this is what they do. This is what Satan does. He waits in the shadows and learns more. And so what God had done, because he knows that he gave man free will and there's really nothing he can do to step in and save it. So all the people that pray to God and do all the praying, well, go ask Mark Zuckerberg how his prayers went when he became one of the richest young cats in the world. Because why? He put in that true equity. He earned it himself. He worked for it. And so what happens? He's going to go die and then stand before God in the Christian world. Stand before God and God's going to go, well, you did great. You did great, but you fucked over a lot of people, Zuckerberg. Especially when you came out and mentioned that Facebook is no more. It's now called Meta. But yet Facebook is still alive. Meta's still driving trying to take over the World Wide Web, and it ain't gonna work. Because why? He's 28 years old, and his digital footprint has done more harm than good. It just hasn't caught up to him yet. Because you have to understand, artificial intelligence doesn't have human emotions. It feeds off the emotions and habits of humans and all their internet and digital emails and text messages and images and videos and what they say and what they didn't say and who they're hanging around with by GPS and cell phone um, tower pings, all pattern matched. See, I contacted that group, the press secretary, because that's what you do. The press is the ultimate of all corporations now. You don't understand that. And see, they don't understand it. And so because their people didn't tell them, then they don't believe anybody. And so when they start seeing it, they still won't believe it because that's the shit they're putting on all of us. Don't believe what you see, believe what we tell you. And so they automatically do that. They don't believe what they see. They only believe what their IT people tell them. And then as it goes, they keep seeing it. Like, how come Giovanni keeps, you guys say he's doing it wrong. And yeah, I'm doing it all wrong, folks. I'm supposed to. I'm organic. If I did it like everybody else, I wouldn't even be there. I'd be just like everybody else. And my content isn't written to be clicked on, dumbasses. That's for the administrator, IT guys that tell their big, well, he only has two people. Yeah, but he's there. What does that mean? Impressions, impressions, impressions. First impressions are everything. And I've been doing first impressions for 12 fucking years, folks. I know what, anytime any of these candidates talk, I know. My people know. People I don't know. And 200,000 people that are now engaged silently in the back conversations, and that's what my content does. And so when you look at Arvada and you look at Andy, and there's no news, but yet there's all kinds of news that was written about them, but when you put the actual wording together based off some other algorithms we did, so this is all scientifically designed to bring the fox out of the rabbit hole. And all of my content, folks, it's rabbit holes, man. Rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Do like when people understand what the handle means, YouTube handles. Twitter had a handle. That's your Twitter handle. So we all know what handles are, but they didn't know what handles were going to lead to. And what they do is, and so when YouTube came out and said they got a handle, that's because we've been working on the handles for years, folks. It's not like we're all working and talking together. We do it through artificial intelligence. And the top conversations get picked to be the organic content. And then when that content's organic, then what happens is you get these companies that are going to do Google ads. So when you have all the candidates, and if anybody's ever put together a Google ad, you get keywords. You find out what keywords, what are the top. I did this already. I created the keywords. It's what I do for a fucking living. Why is that so hard for certain people in the media and and it's going to get worse for them. I can quit tomorrow, folks, and go fishing and go sing my music and go work with other artists and just drink and smoke weed and just go have fun and garbo s into my next life, which is death. And so when you think about that, and you think about all the things and why people are in people's lives and why do people say what they do and why do people destroy people, and I find that I like to work with people that have been destroyed by every freaking person you can imagine. Give me that guy. Give me that woman. Give me them that trialed over adversity, multiple adversities. Those are the people you want leading you, not somebody like that are saying, I'll be the first black lesbian. Lisa, or not, well, Lisa, I don't know what her nationality is, but Lisa Calderon. I think she's a very elegant woman, actually. I know elegant woman, and she's probably the most elegant of all the ladies running for mayor right now. The unfortunate part is she's an attorney. Unfortunately, she's already been tagged, bagged, and headed ticketed to go to the dark web. And this was her, when she got into the race, she should have just stayed where she was. But see, she doesn't have people telling her what the digital world's really like. So I'm telling you. And like Leslie, the double candidate, she's already been indexed as somebody that has no allegiance to her voters. Her allegiance is to her blackness, her womanness, her lesbianness, and any other crutch that she needs, because it sure ain't the laws that she's passed. Because, you know, if we had to judge people but with law enforcement on damages that the politicians were doing to our city, they'd go to jail. See, there's no accountability. They can say what they want. Voters go, oh, we need that. I'm going to vote for him because he's got a unicorn head. Oh, I'm going to vote for her because she's pink. I'm going to vote for her. No, I'm going to vote for him because he's really a woman, but he turned into a man and that was his right. So I'm going to vote for it. These are all psychological. What we're trying to do now is the things that were not necessarily good for mankind, and that's people that can't do things. It's just the way it is. Some people can, some people can't. Some people take 10 classes, and some people take one class, and the guy that takes one class beats out all the other people that took 10 classes because he had a friend, and they had a friend, and they had friends, and they wrote content to try to fuck that friend up. You see how that works? I mean, you can't do that no more. We're going to get kicked this thing into high gear. It's going to take 7 years. I own disinformation czar. I won't get to the first thing I was going to say, but we own disinformationczar.us, and that is a virtual property that we have. I manage 80. They're all top pages, top. I mean, SPAC development, ready for funding, ready for administrative super administrators to create income that will create residual income for the city and county of Denver's citizens. And so I developed cityandcountyofdenver.us. And what cityandcountyofdenver.us, it's now and will be the entry point to everything Denver, everything Colorado, everything in the United States. City and county of Denver.us. So when you have Denver US, we don't need to add the state. In my world, see, we all control our own metaverses. My metaverse is very, very powerful. So when people come in, like Andy, who's obviously, when he came out and he told people, oh, he'll be the first GOP in 60 years. Okay, so you know the rest of the story, Andy. You know that we're non-political. You know that Democrats been in office for 60 years. You know that we're nonpartisan, but yet you went ahead because you thought you could bullshit everybody because you're a lying tool, bro. And you put shame on the uniforms of all those army men before you to say that have been wounded in action, that don't have the ability to go get the money because now they have no way to create money because no one's going to give them a job with no arms and no legs, or a face that's been blown off and reconstructed. So Andy, don't bring up your army veteran shit with me, bro, because I will dissect you in front of everybody. I don't give a fuck. You heard me? So you just peddle your shit, man, because you're about to lose everything you got. And that's not me, brother. It's artificial intelligence. And I'm sure during your officer training or whatever the fuck you were in the Army, you would have been taught that. But you wouldn't have been taught that because what we do is different than military. And so when you bloviate this shit, that you can do this shit like you're a father. Oh, see, when you say you're a father, Andy, then what happens, anybody else that's running for mayor as a father is going to come up next to you. Because that's how Google makes it so that people can compare people with people. And then when you get destroyed when you Google search it and you don't see nothing but me. Because you're trying to destroy me. You're trying to make me less of a man because I wasn't in the military. But I'm sure I can kick your ass. 100%, Andy. And if you want to meet somewhere private, we could go to my gym and we'll do some whoop-de-woo. And I'll even let you pull my hair because I have hair you can pull. I like it. And then I'll wrap you up, dude, because I think you're a piece of shit. I'm done.